you all. Thank you guys for being here. So we are on day 2 of Adam Montgomery's trial, and I have extensive notes. I have pictures, a couple of screen recordings, some things that we're going to look at, and we are going to go through all of that. And we have a special guest. Bendy is here, Jen Liu, the Ward Case Studies, because we are going over the trial together. Like tomorrow night, we're going to do it on her channel. However, we're also going to have some special guests. So I know I had asked Sleuth Mom. She's willing to come on with us. Amber from ATS News. Hey, Sleuth Mom. So I'm really excited. We're going to have a few different opinions about everything that's going on. So first, let me say hello to you guys. Hey, Skylab. Hey, Nana Banana. Hey, Destin. Hey, Claudia. Sexy Wild Thing, Carol freaking Papa Claus, Mayla's mom, Neat Noodle, A Million Sparkles. Thank you, Nana. Tiff, Clicker. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Chopper, Amber, Lou, Destin. Hey, Selena. Adrian, good to see you. 99 Problems, but crime ain't one. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Lucia, Leslie, anybody that I missed. Let me go ahead and bring Jen up. I'll turn this off because there we go. Hey, Jen.
Hey, babe, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm ready for us to go through all of these, the opening statements and all of the witnesses. Let me show you, though. Okay, so this is like where I started my notes today. And I don't think that we would even have time to go through all of them. This is just the written notes. And then in my folder, I have a lot of electronic notes. So I don't think that we'll have time to go through everything, but we definitely have all the information here. So let me see. Hold on. First, we're going to start with the opening statement. So I know you were watching all day. So I actually caught the first part of it on Crime Talk because I had went and Disorder in the Court wasn't live yet. And then I just went and I was going to find actually Sleuth Moms, which I spent some time in there today as well. But in the beginning of the day, I first was in Crime Talk. So I got some of these screen recordings from there. Then I went on and watched in Disorder in the Court and then in Sleuth Moms. And I've linked both of those on the community tab today, you guys. So if you need to find somewhere to watch, definitely check out those channels. Okay. So first, we're going to start and talk about these opening statements, Jen. And yeah, Sleuth Mom says they definitely hit us with some hard testimonies this morning. Well, we have opening statements, and this was kind of how it started. This was like the first thing they put up on the screen. This photo of Kayla. What'd you think about that, Jen? Hey, Music City Mom.
It was a jolt. It was a jolting photograph to begin with opening statements. And I think that the state did it just right because later there's testimony from Kevin Montgomery that is important. And if you have this picture in your mind, then his testimony, makes it even harder. And I thought that the state did a really good job with their opening statements. They're usually pretty to the point. They just lay it out as it is. Right. And I thought they did a good job. I did.
Well, let's see. So they started, and he kind of says, "Where is Harmony Montgomery?" While the whole world was looking for her, trying to find her, her father was hoping she wouldn't be found. They said the only person, and they said this a couple times, and I wrote it down. So the only person who knows where, and then the one and only person who. And trigger warning, you guys, this is just tough stuff to talk about, and it gets quite graphic today. But the one and only person who murdered Harmony, who butchered her body and disposed of her like trash, I think. I can't read my last word.
Yesterday's trash.
And, they made that statement multiple times, and I think they're trying to, I don't know, say it was Adam, not Kayla. They know what he's coming with.
Correct.
This is about Harmony, but also Adam, his actions, rage, brutality, and his escalation in violence. The murder was just the beginning. 2 years he didn't have to answer for these crimes. He thought if he destroyed evidence, he wouldn't be charged. And then they get into let's talk evidence. And let me pull up some things. The next thing. Let's just here. I've got a couple clips. You want to hear them real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Destroying her body, freezing her,
Got him.
thawing her, squeezing the liquid out of her, compressing her body into a bag like this one. Compressing her body into a bag like this one and filling it with lime to further decompose her. Unspeakable things. He left alive.
So
They
they had some of the evidence in the room, you guys, the tote bag. He goes on to say during around the time of this clip, they're talking about evidence, and he says December 7th, 2019, Adam murdered Harmony with a series of brutal attacks. He carried her body with him for months. He beat, injured, and terrorized the only witness to his crime. Kayla was his loose end. She was conditioned through force or threats with a purpose of making sure she'd never tell. I don't know. And then, he gives these very graphic details about what happened. But for me, Jen, it fell short. Welcome, Stacy, by the way. Thank you for joining. And I had seen a few other comments about that. I just feel like, and maybe this is going to bother me the whole trial, but he was like making excuses for Kayla's part in it. And to me, she's just as bad.
Okay. Well, I understand. And I agree. I think she is just as bad. However, this is the conundrum that the state is in. Without her testimony, I don't think that they could have secured a warrant to charge him with murder of any type. And so they have to, the state is going to have to acknowledge some things about Kayla. Okay. They're going to have to immediately, which they did this in his weapons trial. They will immediately have to acknowledge that Kayla is first and foremost a liar, because that's what the defense is going to also bring up. They're going to immediately bring up that she is currently in jail, in trouble because of lying during the grand jury testimony.
Oh, yeah. Well, remember that quote I sent you that they said, what was it, like about exactly what you're saying?
Oh gosh.
She lied under oath, under the very same oath she's going to take in here. Or
exactly. Something like that. And they're going to have to get around that. And now knowing, yes, especially after yesterday, but it hit home today during the defense's opening statements, knowing that the defense is using Kayla as the alternate suspect. So this is not going to be a slam dunk for the state by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
They're going to have to prove that it was Adam and Adam alone.
Yeah.
And that's going to be difficult.
I can't wait to see what evidence they have for that.
Me too. And I thought pulling out the bag. So obviously that's not the bag. It is a bag like that. When you and I were going over the probable cause affidavit, I thought the bag was bigger, and it's not. I was really, it took my breath away a little bit to see the size of that bag.
Right. I know.
I wasn't ready.
Unbelievable. And there's another clip, but before I get into that, there was just a few things in the opening statement that kind of come through with some of the witnesses I wanted to note with you guys. So they start with, she was born June 7th, 2014. Tim and Michelle got her at 2 months. They were told, I think I couldn't hear the other name. I know it's Michelle, but it was quite hard for me to hear. But
it's Rafferty.
Yeah, her last name, but what's her partner's name?
Oh, that part
Tim? I don't know.
I heard it and I just didn't retain it. I retained her name and her testimony.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and we're going to talk about that because that was quite interesting. But so they were told that she possibly wouldn't live past 7 months and had learning disabilities. But Harmony was very intelligent and quite curious. She was potty trained at an early age. So, you know, and she gets into that in her testimony, but in the opening statement, they point all of this out. And then the defendant gets custody in February of 2019. Harmony was 4 years old. Let's see. I just want to see if there's anything else in opening before we get into the witnesses. They talk about how, you know, she started having accidents after they were homeless. And each accident he would strike her. And then they get into this assault that occurred in July of 2019. And I think that they showed today with quite a few witnesses that, you know, the backing up this black eye.
Correct.
And that kind of stuff. Kevin, you know, they bring up Kevin in opening statements, which we hear from him today. And let's see what other little images I grabbed because they put a few on the screen.
Okay.
But if you have anything, always interject. The timeline. So we have the assault, July 2019, the murder, December 7th, compressing Harmony.
Oh, yeah, God. That was hard. That was hard.
Yeah, December 7th to March 3rd. And that's how she got in the bag that size, you know, and then disposing of Harmony.
The one thing that I did want to talk about just really quickly, because I know you went over it yesterday, is Adam not being there. And I just want you guys to know that the jury was given instructions that they're not to make any inferences from Adam not being present, which is important. Yeah. I don't understand this plan. Aside from the fact that perhaps he was advised not to come today because of who was going to be testifying. And perhaps his lawyers said to him, if you cannot control your face, if you cannot control your body when these people are testifying, then don't be there. It's better that you're not there than mean mugging the people testifying, especially Crystal and Kevin. Mm-hmm.
Which Skylab says, how bad did it have to be with Mom that he got her? And we'll talk about her testimony in a second, but I was surprised to know that she went back to that foster home multiple times. I mean, oh my God, my heart breaks thinking about that.
Yes. But sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I also noticed that there were some specific questions of Crystal not asked by the state and of the foster mom not asked by the state. That, we'll get into their testimony in a little bit when we're done with these opening statements. But I did notice there were some questions that I thought would be asked by the state that weren't.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked by the very little testimony that they got and wanted. It was kind of interesting. So 10 days, we're at the end of the opening statements for the prosecution. They note that 10 days before her murder, she went through major life changes, including living in the car. She started having these accidents. And I'm going to play another clip of it. But, he mentions her being so bruised and hiding those bruises with a blanket, which I've talked to you guys about multiple times. But he goes into that day, December 7th. She woke up scared because she wet herself, which... Well, I'll get into that in a second. But at the methadone clinic, then they go to Burger King and he's assaulting her all along the way. But this is my problem. Oh, thank you, 99 Problems, but crime ain't one. This is my problem, though. Okay, so he assaults her. They talk about Harmony moaning and gurgling for several minutes, which we knew that. They talk about going to the Colonial parking lot and them doing drugs for 25 minutes while Harmony's in the back seat dying. And the opening statement, they said Kayla was too afraid to look back. And that right there just bothered me too. I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know.
But But wait a minute. Didn't we hear from, I believe it was Kayla's probable cause or her proffer, that she actually put Harmony's food from Burger King on top of her or sat
Yes.
it next to her. So then
Yes.
how did she do that with her eyes closed?
She claims that in that proffer that she reached back and just set it on the blanket, just felt for her leg and set it there and didn't look at her. That's what she claimed.
I don't know. I feel I don't I don't know how else to say. I don't believe her. There, that I said it. I just don't believe her. Listen, you guys are not going to get any. It's very difficult. There are times when I am sympathetic to Kayla. Being beat like that is a hard thing. Okay, nobody deserves that. But at the same time, I feel like she's lying and withholding and distancing herself and minimizing her actions. And the truth of the matter is, I think it's my belief that she owes it to Harmony. If not, because she didn't do anything then, right? So at least now you owe the truth, the entire truth.
Yep.
Don't hold anything back. You have a proffer, for Pete's sake. Just say what you did.
Yep. I 100% agree. And I think that's what's emotionally quite taxing watching this, because we all feel like that to a degree, right? We're like, like, Kate, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Let me play this other clip because my notes there's a ton of them. So I don't remember exactly what the second one was either. Let's hear.
Okay.
After he beat her, the defendant took, after he had murdered Harmony, after he beat her to death. You'll hear that she went from this little girl full of life, a girl that radiated happiness, that radiated joy, to a scared girl, broken, bruised. And from there, she went to the dead girl in the duffel bag. And after that, she went to the dead girl rotting in the ceiling.
Oh my God.
The ceiling that the defendant slept under for months. For months, as Harmony's body fluid, her blood, leaked through that duffel bag and was absorbed into that ceiling, he slept under her. That's the defendant.
I thought that was a powerful part of the opening statement, though, just the way it was worded, because it's so awful, but
exactly.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful. It was a powerful statement to make, and it conjures some very difficult images, but it's very, very necessary because these are places that they visited yesterday. And although they wouldn't have gone inside the shelter, you know what I mean?
Right. So we have the cooler, which we saw these in the affidavit, the ceiling where they were sleeping with Harmony up there. We know that there's the bag, Jen. It was so hard to grab a picture because he didn't show it like to the cameras,
Yeah.
But there were other people complaining in the shelter, in the fish shelter, about the smell.
Yes.
And then I'm quoting it, her body began to rot and smell more and more by the day, and other tenants were complaining about the smells. This is when he compressed and contorted her body into this bag. Then the bag went back to the ceiling. Harmony's liquids were leaking through the duffel bag before she was in the tote. Investigators smelled decomposition when they checked the ceiling 2 years later. Now, this was interesting, Jen. Here's some evidence. The blood, which he's admitted to this, but the blood was tested and was Harmony's, but the defendant's fingerprints and palm prints surround that blood. Now, I couldn't remember if I heard that in the affidavit originally. For some reason, I feel like it may have been, but that is, that's some strong evidence there. At least it's fingerprints, palm prints in right next to her bodily fluids.
I don't want to say for certain, but I will say this. Now, I definitely remember the part about it's still smelling like decomp, being in the probable cause and all of that stuff, and it being Harmony's blood. but it is very powerful evidence because it puts him as the one moving around where he stored her body.
Yeah, agree. Which he's admitted to that now. So, but
I want people to understand that the state is not going to come for Kayla. They're not going to mention that, yes, she also slept under that same ceiling. Yes, she actually got pregnant, while she was in the shelter sleeping under that same ceiling, because she's their witness. So they're not going to go in on Kayla.
Yep.
They need her testimony, and they're not going to do anything to take swipes at her character, because she's basically their star witness.
Yeah, she is.
And it's hard. It's hard to know that.
I agree. And Lisa says it's sitting in that he might get away with this. All they need is reasonable doubt that old Kayla might have done it. Well, here's the thing. Even I'm on the side. I'm not that he's innocent, but I definitely am curious if she played a bigger role. At least, she admitted in that proffer that she smacked him on the back of the head. Smacked Harmony, on the back of the head and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we are here, like Jen said, for Adam's trial. So I don't think that we should get too lost in that, even though I'm of the belief that there could be more there as well, but
I believe there is more there too. But the problem is they needed her. Now, listen, they know who is testifying for Adam. Right. They know that they've vetted those witnesses, and whoever they are, the state has looked into them, and they're going to do whatever it is that they need to do to impeach their testimony. But the question is, will it be enough? And let me just say this. Even if the jury believes that Kayla helped after they hear her testimony, both on direct and cross, they can believe that Kayla helped, but they can also believe that Adam is guilty as well. So just throwing Kayla under the bus does not get Adam out of this at all.
Right. But does it get him out of the murder and only with those charges he's conceded guilt to?
No, I don't think so. I think that they're going to have a the defense is going to have to put on some like jaw-dropping evidence. Right. I think, to counter
all of this.
I
agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before the defense's opening statement, they do go through, and I'm not even going to, we've went through it multiple times, what happened in that shower. It is disgusting, disturbing. Yeah. We know that Kayla was part of that. Now, there was a few things, though, that I do want to point out. So after this is their words. I'm just quoting in my notes right here. So they say he took breaks from the horror show in that bathroom. During one of those breaks, he said, quote, "I can put her in pieces." While he was working on this, he clogged the drain. Now, he went to Home Depot on February 26th. He got a saw, a backup blade, a diamond saw blade, and lime. On February 27th, he placed a work order to unclog his drain. So that's deal. Yeah. Now, go ahead.
Tess is asking me. Yes, reasonable doubt is in the eye of the beholder. And let me just say this. These are my thoughts on day 2 of the trial. Okay. Well, technically day 3, but whatever. Jury selection counts as trial. But anyway, that's not the point. These are my thoughts today. They are subject to change. I need to see what kind of case the state is putting on. So far, I see how they're lining it up, and it makes sense to me. They seem to be doing a good job there. As far as whether or not there could be reasonable doubt, there's not been enough testimony at this point for me. I got to see what else they're putting on. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, in a juror's mind, I think it might be difficult for some of the stuff that they've already come out with now to kind of get around, but we'll see.
Crumb Crochet, I am so sorry. The pup has taken a turn.
No.
needs all the prayers. I wonder if the plumber's on the witness list too, Jane. So then they go into, he was suspecting Kayla was working for police at this time, pulling out outlets and light sockets and thinking there were listening devices planted, which meth tends to do that to people anyways. He started beating and threatening Kayla that he would kill her if he went to jail, he would have someone else do it. Less than a week after that horror show in the bathroom, the defendant disposed of Harmony. He was meticulous, making sure nothing would come back on him. He had a friend rent a U-Haul van, which was $19.99, and it's cheaper than renting a car. The friend's girlfriend saw a CMC bag sticking out of the fridge and heard the defendant say, "I fucked up. I fucked up." March 3rd, 2020, he leaves in the middle of the night and tells Kayla he was going to dispose of Harmony. Since then, this is what they said. Since then, Kayla has helped investigators find proof. She spoke to police hours and hours for multiple days, statements police would not have without her.
And I think that's very, very, very important for the state to get out. That this is a very legal way of saying, hey, y'all don't like Kayla. We don't like Kayla either. We're not friends, but we needed her testimony. And without her, we would not have enough. We wouldn't have enough to charge him with murder.
Okay, well, the last thing in the opening statements I want to ask you about, Jen, this is just bizarre. And apparently, now we know that he claimed that he gave Harmony back to mom, but also we heard that there were these statements made here that that Adam said Harmony was evil, reminded him of her mother, and he hated her. Now, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that to be true. I don't know. I think that is horrific to even think about, but based on another witness that we heard from today, and we'll talk about in a minute, she claimed that he really regretted giving her that black eye and stuff. So is he talking one way to some people and one way to others? Possibly.
I think that the thing about human beings is they're multifaceted. I said this all the time. So it's possible, bad people can do good things. And good people can do bad things. Do you know what I mean? So Did he maybe have a moment where he said something that sounded human? Probably. But then I do think, I remember his speech before sentencing on the gun charges. And he sounded angry is what he said when he was talking about Harmony.
Yeah,
and he didn't sound.
I'll say it in a minute after we get done.
Yeah, it wasn't like an impassioned speech. It was an angry speech, and I think that Harmony, bless her. I don't know why I said that twice now. I was looking at something else. I'm sorry. I think Harmony looks a lot like her mom, and I do believe that he said those things, and I do believe he felt that way. I do.
Hey, Amber. I saw that Amber scheduled a live on this for tomorrow. I look forward to that, and I can't wait for you to come on with us to give your opinions and stuff, as well as Melissa, Sleuth Mom, and I think I added Sleuth Mom. Yes, I did. So I'm going to drop Bendy's link, Melissa, Amber, and Sleuth Mom, and Disorder in the Court. Those are the channels where I know you guys can find stuff on this case. Let's see.
I hope it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. ATS, Sleuth Mom, Melissa, all you girls are always welcome over on my panel anytime you want to. All you got to do is just give me the word and I'll drop a link for you.
See, I got Sleuth Mom in the Nightbot and Disorder in the Court last night.
Look at you. Lynn, too. There's some parts of this I want to talk to Lynn. I have some thoughts some questions just specifically for Lynn.
Right. I hope she'll come on too.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great. Okay, so then we're getting into the defense opening statements really quick. So they get up, and I'm just quoting in my notes here. I'm basically quoting word for word what they were saying, but not everything. But he says, Adam Montgomery did not kill Harmony. He did not beat her. He didn't cause her death. Kayla Montgomery was the last person to see Harmony alive. She is still lying about the cause of Harmony's death. Even though she has her deal, she continues to lie to protect herself. The reason she lies is the truth points the finger at her. Adam was protecting Kayla, his wife, and the mother of his kids. Adam is an innocent innocent. He and Kayla covered up Harmony's death and moved her body from place to place. He and Kayla put her in the shower and hid her remains. You can and should find him guilty of those crimes. The evidence that will show you that Adam didn't murder Harmony will come from his accuser, Kayla. So these are quotes from Kayla, but then she ends up having interviews with police and stuff like that. She has this New Year's Eve interview and he's holding up her notes, right? And she writes of her willingness to betray Adam, not her willingness to tell the truth. But she also wrote about her longing to be alone with him for just one more night. She didn't write anything about being afraid, but did claim she wanted immunity from everything. So even though she was claiming she was so scared of him and trying to get away from him, she was also writing about how she wanted to be with him one more day. So that's bizarre too, you know, but I mean, it's a good defense to bring up, but
human beings are very complex creatures and emotions and tied in with love. And, you know, it's very complicated and very messy. And but I think that, writing that she wanted immunity from everything is problematic, and writing about betrayal rather than the truth is also problematic. But we knew that, I mean, that this is what the defense is going to do. They're going to point the finger at her, and that's the way that it is.
Absolutely. And I think these are good points for them to bring up, you know, but I don't know. I agree with you. It's like when you're in a relationship, even with somebody awful who's horrible to you, you still may miss them or want one more night or want that intimacy or whatever. We are complex creatures. So the defense goes into November. The rest of the notes are in my notebook, but November 27th, 2019, the family was evicted. They lived in the Sebring. In the following week, Adam was gone making money. Kayla was cooped up with the kids in the car. He says Harmony's body was not discovered at that intersection. Adam and Kayla discovered Harmony that night when Adam got home or back. Adam protected Kayla so they wouldn't lose the kids.
Okay, here's my problem with this. All right. And we only know this from the weapons trial. Okay. Some of this time. This is my issue. If that were the case, you have other children with her. Well, another child with her. Why on God's green earth would you leave your other child alone with her if she's capable of this?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Police found and questioned Kayla. She lied. She said Harmony was with Crystal. Kayla then contacted Adam. Adam returned with Kelsey Small at that point. And we know that's his girlfriend who's passed away. New Year's Eve, she talks to police. That's when she does these notes that we talk about here. January 5th, Kayla is arrested for theft. While in jail, she had time to think. There was a note found in her cell. And that's the other notes here, the immunity from, or no, I'm sorry, all charges I'm facing, what I'm going to say about Adam, talking about how she wanted to be able to have her kids in her life. And these are the things, I guess, that she wanted if she made a deal, basically, is the way I took it. She did tell a CO she wanted to speak with the Attorney General's office. She had a grand jury subpoena. She was out on bail. And then on May 20th, she had the grand jury thing. But then this is where they say, during that grand jury interview, or however they said that, they said, quote, she lied under oath, the same oath you'll see her take later. And I thought that's
facts. And that is that's the truth. And she is a liar. And when your star witness is a liar, it is problematic. What I was most puzzled about is what happened to Harmony, because there was a lot of testimony today about her being potty trained. And more importantly, I think, was her pride in being a big girl and being potty trained. And I just have a difficult time wrapping my mind around that being. Now, I understand being in a car and not having access to a bathroom, and you're holding it and holding it, and kids can't hold it forever. That would, but it seems like from the way that they're sort of laying it out, that this was something that she absolutely couldn't control anymore. So what I'm wondering is what happened, because it's something, I believe, if that's what they're trying to say, right, that something else had to have happened in the interim between the house living in that house, being evicted, and moving to the car.
Yeah. Well, I know this. Bentley was potty trained before we started moving. After we started coming here every week, he regressed and went back into pull-ups. When kids have, and I looked into it at the time, and when kids have major life changes, whether that's a move, whether there's some kind of trauma, anything like that, like Sleuth Mom said, just the stress, the unbelievable amount of stress this baby went through, or now even SA, things like that, trauma will bring a child that is potty trained, will make them regress into needing pull-ups again and that kind of thing. But like I said, even just moving with Bentley. And
Yeah.
welcome, Stephanie. Thank you for joining.
Mayla's mom, that's the part I'm kind of confused. Now, see, this is what I think. I'm not thinking SA. What I'm thinking is that I think that there was something, some type of other physical abuse that might have caused some
it's possible.
long-lasting effects. That's what I'm worried about. Like, just think about boxers, when and being hit in the kidneys and stuff like that, what that will do. So I feel like at the end of the day, it was just something that I noticed. That's all. It doesn't really amount to a hill of beans, really. It was just something that I noticed. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is that for her very short little life that she had, for the last parts of her life to be so sad and horrific and violent, breaks my heart. No child should ever have to go through that. Ever, ever, ever,
Oh, no,
ever.
I completely agree. It's absolutely horrific.
Listen, the hubs just got home. I will be right back. Give me like 5 minutes, okay?
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I got tons of to go through anyways.
All right, be right back.
Okay, you guys. So, before the defense opening statement ends, he does make a couple points about this grand jury testimony about her lying about working at Dunkin' Donuts. And they already had her work, all that information. So they caught her, in the moment lying. 2 weeks later, she was arrested for lying to the grand jury. They want us to pay close attention to Kayla's various descriptions of the car breaking down and honking agitated drivers and things like that. Okay, so then we have Kevin. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. First, we have Dee Dee Travis. She's a nurse practitioner, and her testimony was very brief. She just talks about Harmony coming in for a visit. Where in the heck is this in my notes? She went in for a visit, I believe, in June, and she weighed 35.2 pounds, I believe. Wait, did I put it in here? I'm pretty sure I did. Then I started taking screenshots from Lynn's Live, which it seemed very small. She's small, tiny little girl. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. Then we have Uncle Kevin Montgomery. Now, we had heard a lot about Kevin before this, and I'll be honest with you, I have some more research to do that I haven't got to do yet. 35.2. Thank you, Sleuth Mom. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. Into some things with Kevin. But he gets on the stand, and he had a hard time. You could tell he was visibly upset. He cried when they had showed Harmony's picture and things like that. He talks about Adam telling him that Harmony was smothering her brother, and the baby's mouth was blue. And he is the one that Adam told that he bashed her around the house. He said that he saw Harmony with her black eye, and he's like, Harmony, what the F did you do? Meaning, and I saw some people confused in the chat where I was watching this, meaning, Harmony, did you fall down? Did you get hurt? Did you, hit yourself with something? That's what he meant. Harmony, what did you do? Adam interrupts and said, she didn't do anything. I did it. He definitely looked scared and like he was in pain. Now, I have sympathy for Kevin. However, I saw people, you guys are welcome to have all opinions here. That's what we do here. And I saw people with different opinions. Let's see. Let me just find my notes. Oh, actually, before that, before Kevin, I'm sorry, I skipped a page. That's when we have the foster mom, Michelle Rafferty. Her birthday's 9/11, by the way. And Tim, it is Tim. Harmony called Tim Dada, Papa, called Michelle Mama Michelle. She was the one that was told they had this, she could have a brainstem disorder and may not live past 7 months. Michelle said Harmony was loving, sweet, happy, and would leave a sparkle wherever she went. I loved that. Now, this was interesting. So Harmony was with Michelle 3 times. First time was for 2 months. Then she went back to mom. Then she was with Michelle and Tim for 2.5 years. And then she went back to mom for 10 months. And then she was back with Michelle. So this child was all back and forth all over the place. She was potty trained by 2.5 to 3. She trained herself because she hated to soil her clothes and things like that. And they did have to ask for another home. And this was brought up during the cross. And they asked her why. And she said something to the effect of, co-parenting is hard. It's even more difficult when there's drama and children's services involved. And this is all before Kevin. So I actually skipped. I have notes on Kevin I want to get into. But first, let me say, I meant to put a picture of Crystal in here. It's in the thumbnail. We had Crystal, Harmony's mom, as a witness. She was not on there for long, but she does talk about potty training, losing and regaining custody, her cooperation with authorities and officials. Defense, it was a quick testimony. I was quite surprised. Then we have Dee Dee from urgent care. Defense does bring up this rash around Harmony's mouth. Not sure how relevant that is. And then we get to Uncle Kevin. Okay. So Uncle Kevin, he does have a visual reaction to seeing Harmony. Now, this was a point that was brought up that I have to address. So they ask him, do you want to be here testifying against your nephew? And he says no. And they said, were you subpoenaed? And he says yes. And people were like, he had to be subpoenaed. I want to say, he was very willing to cooperate all along the way. He had contacted authorities and CPS and tried. He even offered $500 to them to take Harmony. I think that they have to send a subpoena to everyone, even if they are willing, or because someone might change their mind. So just because he was subpoenaed does not mean he wasn't going to cooperate if he wasn't.
Right. You're right. I'm back.
People were upset about that.
Yeah, I think when people hear the word subpoena, it makes them think of like essentially being forced. But when you are in a trial like this, a subpoena is necessary for many reasons. It's not just for the testimony, right? But when you're subpoenaed, when you're on the witness list, then the state will take the additional precaution and they will file so that the defendant cannot have contact with anybody on the witness list.
Right.
And also when you're under a subpoena, so let's say he got up there and he testified, and for whatever reason, there had to be like a break. Okay. Something happened, or he was in there later and they decided to take a lunch in the middle of his testimony. When you're still under a subpoena like that, you can't talk to anybody about your testimony. They don't want you looking on the internet to watch the trial or anything like that. It keeps everything how it should be. It keeps, everything running smoothly.
You see Wolfie's comment, hey, Bendy, you're my absolute favorite. Don't tell Allie or MJ.
I won't, Wolfie. That'll just be our secret.
Tiff says when he was told from Adam that he bashed her around the house, 911 should have been called right then and there, period. I have nothing for Kevin. Facts. Some people feel that way. You guys are welcome to feel however you feel. I have a little sympathy for him, but I'm a softie anyway, so, but He takes many deep breaths during his testimony. And then, he talks, like I said, about this. She didn't do anything. I bashed her around the house. And that was his last night there. Wait,
go ahead. Sorry. Okay.
No.
What I thought was interesting is that, oh, no, you tell about the defense because that's the part I want to. Oh, wait,
Well,
no, let me say this really quick. No, wait, because this is going to come up in the cross. So the thing that he said was also about when Adam said what he said. What he actually said was, I bashed her around the fucking house. That's what he said. And I remember that because the prosecutor, when he was asking him the question, he continued to repeat and use the word fucking house. And it was the way he said it. And Kevin said that he sounded like a cocky asshole. Okay, that's the part I wanted. Then we're going to talk about the. Okay.
Well, and before that, clause says, I think they asked him if he would have come with or without a subpoena. That's maybe I need to re-listen because I didn't hear that. I heard, did you have a subpoena? And he said yes. Not would you have came without one or anything like that. So I don't know. I need to re-listen. But Claus did send me a thing today about a GoFundMe he did and stuff, and I am going to look into it more. So, I think that that's something to keep in mind too. Harlot says Uncle Kevin was the only person who tried to save Harmony. He offered Adam $500 to take her. He called law enforcement, DCYF on Adam multiple times. He tried. He's the only one who really tried, So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that to be true actually, but as far as I know so far. Then the defense gets up and they talk about, did Adam apologize to you for hitting Harmony? That was such an odd question, wasn't it? And he said yes.
I think what they're trying to do with this is show that as horrible as it is, this is the defense's I think this is what the defense is trying to do, okay? This is not Jen Lou saying this. I want to be very clear. I get no sympathy for one Adam Montgomery at all, okay? What I think they're trying to establish is that, yes, he did this, and as awful and horrific and wrong as it was, he was sorry about it, meaning he showed remorse. He acknowledged that it was wrong. So you cannot assume that just because he did it one time, as bad as that is, that it means that he is capable of actually beating her to death because he had the regret. That's what they're trying to establish. I don't know if it will work, but that's what they're trying to do, I think.
I agree with you. So Sleuth Mom has some information about this GoFundMe. Thank you. She says the GoFundMe was made before the case took off in the media and was going to go to a reward fund. Then the case took off and local businesses donated. So it wasn't like a GoFundMe. See, that's good to know. And this order in the court says he was asked if he was subpoenaed and he said yes. And then asked if he wanted to be there and he said no. That's all I remember about. Yeah, they said, do you want to be here to testify against your nephew? And he said no. And then they said, and then the subpoena question.
Which I think they oh, sorry, Allie, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, all I had to say was I think there are so many amazing channels in here in the chat and covering this. And right now I'm going to drop some links again. You guys, please check out these channels. I would not share them if I didn't believe in them and what they're doing. And the first one is Bendy's, because we're going to be doing some, recaps over there as well.
We're stuck. You're stuck with me, Allie. Allie is stuck with me. I think this is the one area, in my opinion, in which the state, I think, lost a little steam. In my opinion, there should have been a follow-up question. Why? After the no. And the reason I think this is because it is very difficult. Remember, this is his uncle. This is his brother's son. He's known him his entire life. And y'all put yourselves in this man's shoes. And you think about your nephew that you've known since he was a baby. And then he grows up and he does this, or he's accused of this. Because at this point, yes, you all know what I think, but obviously he's been accused of this, right?
Absolutely.
Would you want to do it? Would you want to get up there? Nope. I don't think anybody would be gleeful and enjoy getting up there and having to say this about their nephew. And I actually think that's what he meant by no. And
1,000% agree.
I think that if the state had followed up and asked why, I think that's what he would have said. Or at least I hope that's what he would have said. But I think that that's the one area where they lost a little bit of footing there. I think that was really important.
Agree completely. Disorder says, I doubt anyone wants to testify, but mostly a family member. And I agree with you guys so much. And Mayla's mom, I'm so glad that you feel that way. She says, I love the chat here because I don't agree with everyone, but have the safety to do so. Thank you for allowing us to have respectful adult conversations. I want you guys to feel free to share your opinion no matter what it is, as long as it's not harmful to Harmony or something like that. You know what I mean? And you guys would never do that. So hey, Tony. Okay, Wolfie, drive safe. Okay, so at the end, when the defense is talking to Uncle Kevin, he asked about Adam apologizing. He asked, did you try to get a hold of Adam in 2020? And this is a confusing moment. Uncle Kevin is not quite grasping what he's asking. And he's like, wait, on Kayla's account? And he says, yes, he was through Facebook on Kayla's account. But the defense made a point to note that he was blocked on Adam's account. And I felt like they were making a point there that was saying you're not that close to him. You don't know that much of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to distance him a little bit.
Correct.
Then they
they were really trying to sort of make him out like he doesn't really know what he's talking about. And so therefore to the jury, hey, don't put a whole lot of weight into his testimony. Because they weren't going to come right out and basically call him a lying liar who tells lies, but they were like trying to chip away a little bit about how close he actually was. How much did he actually know? It was a typical defense tactic, you know?
Yep, exactly. Completely agree. And then let's see. They talk about this bash around the house comment potentially being sarcasm or something. And I saw you in the chat at that point. I didn't hear exactly what they said during that. I just caught the end of it. So in my notes, I don't have a real clear explanation of that.
Basically, what he said was, it wasn't a joke. And so then on redirect, the state said, basically, do you know the difference or whatever between, sarcasm and a joke? And, he's like, he was being sarcastic. He wasn't being sarcastic. He was being an asshole. That's how that is,
Riddler, thank you for gifting a membership. That's so sweet.
Wow.
Lynn, I hope that we're going to have some guests during this series with Amber.
Yes.
And would you be willing to come up one night too? Because I would love that. And Jen said she would love to talk to you about some of this stuff that's come out too. But she says, I feel like the defense isn't asking a lot of challenging questions of some witnesses because it would open the door to other incriminating testimony.
Correct. I think that they're being very careful about the questions that they do ask, because remember, you guys, that when whatever is asked on direct opens the door for how the cross-examination is going to go. So what you want to do is keep that door. You do not want to leave the door ajar at all. Isn't that right, Jim Griffin? That's right. Because he's the one that opened the door to the financial crimes.
Okay, let me just finish this and we'll go to the next witness I have here. The rest of my notes are all going to be on the screen because I find it easier to take notes typing into the phone in my messenger, as I'm listening instead of writing, because then I keep having to pause and I get behind. Yeah, hold on. Got one more I got to drop. Melissa.
Because I know there's a lot of creators in this chat that have followed this case and covered this case. And I really do. Listen, y'all know I love covering a trial with Allie. And we really did want to cover this trial together, because I don't think I could have gotten through Letitia's trial if it wasn't for you guys and Allie. And so, but I really am looking forward to hearing from these other awesome creators, because I want to hear what they have to say. I get
Me
tired of
too.
my own
I
voice, I
cannot.
have to tell you.
Well, next week, because Sleuth Mom said basically whenever, just not yesterday. So I'll try to make plans and maybe we can do it next week. I'll like find out which days are best. And we'll be doing some on
Yeah.
your channel. And either way, either one is good for them to come on for me, as long as we get to have that conversation, you know?
Yeah, I don't care however it has to happen, however we end up doing, you know, I'm excited to hear from these guys because, well, thank you, Chase. I appreciate that.
Chase is sweet. Okay, so now our next witness is this woman, okay? And her name is Katie Morin. Katie was in rehab with Adam. You can see my notes on the screen. She was romantically involved with him in 2021. The statement she gave officers about what Adam said to her about his wife was that Adam told her that Kayla would do anything for him. And Adam also told her he blacked Harmony's eye and that he regretted it. I didn't have that in my notes, but I do remember that.
She did say that. I have questions about her.
Okay.
So there seems to me like I remember there's like being a video clip of Adam in a vehicle with a woman. This is not that girl, is it? This is somebody different. Where's that girl?
That is Kelsey Small, and
That's it. I could not remember her name today to save my life. Y'all, my memory is really bad. It's getting worse. It used to be good.
She was the girlfriend that Adam had after him and Kayla split up, and she passed away.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
He probably only told her he regretted it so she would sleep with him again. I don't think he regrets, Amber says. Oh, we love you, Amber Lou. You know what? We will, Adrian. Adrian says, I wish y'all would have an open panel on this case. We have some very smart people in this chat, and it may be good for everyone to be able to speak for Harmony. You know what, Adrian?
I agree. That's a
Me
good
too.
idea.
This
It's
chat
a really good idea.
These people are way smarter than me in my chat. I'm telling you, our chats, Jen, because
we do have the best chats.
Yes, we have some brilliant men and women in there. And just with the most, like the post I made last night, which was one of my friends who's a mod here, but her opinion that you go read today and you're like, that's a really good theory. You know, you guys are just brilliant. So I would love that. We will make it happen.
I thought that was an incredibly insightful opinion, but I want to say one thing. I actually think it was quite interesting. But then when the testimony came out today, that it was actually Kayla who went into the methadone clinic first, then it made me think a little bit. But that just because it was that one time that she went first, I still think that the basis of that theory, which is Kayla basically sitting there waiting for Adam to get home so they could get their fix. I do still think that holds up. Absolutely. I was actually a little bit surprised that Kayla went into the clinic. I guess because I feel like Adam is a dick and I feel like he would go first. I don't know. It would just kind of surprised me. That's all.
Right. Interesting. Thank you, Chicken Shite. Love you, Allie. Also, Jen Lou. I'm almost done with every video on your channel. Thanks for all the laughs, roast, and your wit. You guys make such a good pair. Thank you, Chicken Shite.
Oh, thank you, Chicken Shite. Love it.
Okay, so let's see who our next one is. We have the construction worker, Nicholas Erb. Did I spell his last name right? Or is there a typo? Anyways, this construction worker, he knew Adam. He witnessed the black eye, and Adam told him it was from a soccer accident. And I think this goes along with them proving that assault charge. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to do here, in my opinion.
Correct. And they're trying to also prove, well, remember that I got to go back and look at the docket on on Adam Montgomery, but I'm like 82 or 3% sure that I saw some orders for depositions. So I would imagine that both sides have talked to these witnesses prior to them being on the stand, kind of know what they're going to testify to. And I think the reason this particular witness was integral is because you have on the cross-examination, you have the witnesses who witnessed not the giving of the black eye, but the aftermath, the actual black eye. And to see, and that's why I was going to talk about it with seeing Kayla's black eyes, because her black eyes were the whole eye. And she's an adult, and it's not like she's, she's not like an Amazon woman or anything. I mean, she's an average sized woman, but then you put that image of the black eye onto Harmony's, why can't I say that? Harmony's little face. And it just seems it's worse. It's so much worse, than what you would, you know what I mean? And I think the reason that this guy was put on is because this shows Adam lying about how it occurred.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you.
And trying to cover up.
Mayla's mom has an interesting point. She says, here's an opinion for those who think that it absolutely could not be Kayla. For most people, it's easier to believe a man is more capable of this heinous crime. And then, yeah, Tiff, don't be sorry. No, a methadone clinic is like, they do counseling there, but the main thing that you do there is go there to get your methadone. So,
yeah. Now, I will say this. Oh,
Riddler, you're freaking sweet. Sorry, Bendy. Alex, your care for children who need a voice is outstanding. You deserve an award for public awareness. Thank you for being an asset to the community. Whoa. Sorry, my editing Tisha videos. Did you hear that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry.
It just was like, but you couldn't make it out. You could just hear a noise. But my favorite part was how big your eyes got when it happened.
I'm like, oh no. Had to be on camera for that part. Riddler, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you guys are the best part of this place. I'm one person, but all of us coming together and you guys coming in the chat is what makes it so, just what makes it so wonderful and so awesome. And Adrian says methadone used correctly is not wrong and helps a lot of people. I agree with you.
Absolutely. I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all. What I just think that from everything that we've heard about Adam, I feel like he's stingy. And, I've never taken methadone, but I do not judge anybody who does. Okay. I want to make that very clear. So I don't have like personal experience with it, but I do know people that do. And it's my understanding that by the time you wake up in the morning, the 24 hours that have lapsed between the dose the day before, you're ready to have your methadone, and you're starting to feel the effects of withdrawal. And I do know from opioids. I know what those feel like.
Right.
And so I feel like he just seems like such a rat bastard that he would be itching for it. And so he would go first. Like he's inconsiderate in that way. It's not even a big deal. It really doesn't mean anything. It just it was one of those things. I was like, yeah.
I could see why you feel that way. For sure. Plus, when you're in a relationship and you're doing drugs like that, it is such a toxic situation to be in. You're constantly arguing over who's getting more, who's going first, all that kind of stuff. It's just a miserable hell to be in. I've been there, and I've never been on methadone. However, I've taken it because I went to a rehab facility where they gave it to me for like 3 to 5 days or something. And then I've bought some on the street to take it. I have no problem with methadone. Look here. If methadone is going to save your life and you're not going to be out on the street putting needles in your arm, then go for it.
Absolutely. And congratulations. Hold on, I just scrolled. Mary Jane Doe, 6 years. That's amazing. And listen, I say you got to do what works for you, and whatever it is that works for you, that is keeping you sober. Obviously within reason, like if you made 11 billion friendship bracelets, for example, that is what you needed to do to keep your mind and your hands busy so that you don't use, then that's what works for you. If it's methadone, if it's Suboxone, whatever it is,
if it's nerve pills, whatever.
Right.
For me, I know that I can never have a prescription of Xanax or Klonopin. I will abuse it. I'm an addict, and I've tried so many times to be on those things. I just like my life better without it anyways, but I know I'm not capable of that. I know it. Some people, like if you give me a script of something like that, it's going to make my life worse. Some people who need it and are going to take it correctly, it may truly benefit them and make their life better. So I think
Exactly.
you have to weigh out individually what is best for you. And as long as you're able to take care of what you need to and your life is better because of what you're doing and not worse, then I'm all for it. Hey, Denny Dawn, was anyone upset that defense tried to blame Harmony by saying she tried to kill her little bro? I thought that was so inappropriate and so wrong, just my opinion. So I think they were trying to give an excuse to why he would have done that to her. However, blacked her eye. However, if she was watching the kids and scared that she was going to get in trouble if they were crying and stuff, maybe she did hold her hand over their mouth, not to hurt them, but to keep them from crying so she didn't get in trouble.
I think it was a huge, huge mistake on the part of the defense, and here's why. First of all, the fact that Harmony did that does not speak negatively to Harmony. It speaks negatively to what was going on in that home. A child covering another child's mouth is not an innate thing for them to do. And I know this because I had mini Bendy way after I had my other children. There is 7 years between my two daughters. And there's 9 years between her and my youngest son. And there are 10 years between her and my oldest son. And so I could leave her in her little seat, the little vibrating chair, and go to the bathroom. And if she cried, they would give her binky or try to hold her little hand or comfort her. Their need was not to silence the baby. And I think that was an incredibly stupid move on their part, because what it shows is, it doesn't show that Harmony is anything negative about her. What it shows is she has been conditioned that crying results in physical pain. And what she's really trying to do is protect the baby from being physically hurt. That's where her little mind goes. She's 4, for Pete's sake. And then, 5, but still, it's not, you know what I'm saying? That's why I believe that's why she did it. And I believe that is actually speaks so much more negatively about their environment than it does about Harmony. And I think that
that's a great point, and I agree.
I don't think the jury is going to, I don't think the jury at that point is going to be lost on the jury. I really don't.
I so agree. And Cajun Girl, thank you. She says, thanks to Nola Chick for turning me on to this awesome group. Happy to be here. And thank you so much. And thank you, Nola Chick. And then Boo Sheet says, do I think they'll bring more charges on Kayla? So I actually don't know the exact specifics of what kind of deal she's made. And I'm not even sure that anybody could 100% know that, because some of it may not be public knowledge yet. I don't know. However, I wish.
Right.
Kayla says she has immunity, and is that for a fact? Because I've seen that, but I don't know that I've seen it like in court record or.
Yeah, I don't think I know that. Denny, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what the defense tried to do. But I don't think that the jury is going to fall for that, is my point. I actually think that it was stupid of them to do it, and I actually think that it backfired.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either, Jane. Look, I am just a mom who likes true crime. I'm never going to pretend to be anything I'm not. I don't know. I know what I know from watching it and studying this stuff with you guys. However, I'm not a professional. I also don't see myself as necessarily a journalist. I think we do a level of that, but Cyber Sleuths got into that in such a good way. But, people that go to school for that, and they are held to these certain ethics because, they work for a company and they don't want to, there's different levels to it. But honestly, I'm just a mom who likes true crime, and I don't know all the ins and outs of this. Now, Benny,
right. I don't either. No, I'd have to see it. See,
Right.
it's my understanding that a proffer agreement is made so that the person will tell the truth.
They
And
can't
I
hold it against
can,
them, but I don't think
right.
it's community, right?
Yes, but I mean, there's things that can be written into plea agreements, etc. Like if you testify at Adam's trial truthfully at the weapons trial and then at the murder trial, there's there's a lot of fine print is what I'm trying to say that I am not aware of. But what I will say is that typically when a plea deal is made, especially under circumstances like this, if it can be proven that you have lied, then the plea deal can be off the table. You see, this for them, I can't imagine that the state would give her any level of, like, for lack of a better word, sweetheart deal where they weren't covered as well.
Right. Mayla's mom says proffers are also different in all states, and that's another
They
thing
are.
that makes this, true crime and covering true crime a bit confusing sometimes because the laws are different in every state. Things are going to work different, not only in every state, but every county and every courtroom. One judge may do things one way, another may do things slightly different, and that's just part of it.
Right.
My
Like
understanding of
Adam not coming to trial. You
Yes.
see, okay. So he does, okay, there is a thing called trial in absentia. And it means sort of it means something very specific, but let me just, but Adam has the right, because he has an attorney, he has the right for the attorneys to do all of the speaking for him. He has the right to attend and he has the right not to attend, right? However, there are, each state has, and I tried to find a specific, like something written in the criminal, like in New Hampshire's, the rules for criminal trials. I tried to find something specific about this, and that I couldn't find anything. Doesn't mean I won't find. I'm going to keep looking, but I couldn't find anything. I think the deal with I think the reason that Judge Warner was the way he was with Letitia is because he wanted to establish from the very beginning, because of Letitia's history of antics and shenanigans in the courtroom, out of the courtroom. She's litigious, all of the things. I
Right.
think when it came time for trial, Judge Warner was like, listen, I ain't playing with you. We're not going to have it. This is not kangaroo court. You're not going to be pulling any bullshit. Okay. You're going to be here and you're going to sit in that chair and you're going to act like a freaking grown up and stop flipping people off, all the things, right? I think I think it was more of establishing I'm not putting up with none of your bullshit.
I agree. I completely agree.
Tisha.
And they knew what she was about because she had raised hell for years. MK, thank you for gifting 5 memberships.
Oh, MK, so nice.
And then Adrian says he has the right, but what do you think jurors think about it? And I hope and pray they think nothing about it because they've been told to not let it affect their opinion at all. So I hope that they can stick to that. I've seen a lot of people that believe that it makes him look awful. It makes him look guilty. It makes him look like a coward. I mean, people are outraged over him not showing, to be honest. But for me personally, I feel like, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm not at the point where I think for one, it's ego, but I also think there might not be a real important reason. Maybe he just didn't want to go sit. I don't know. So I don't know. I think we have to see when else he comes and doesn't come, but we only
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Cause I was going to change the subject a little bit.
I kind of feel like this might actually be a strategy. I think that the witnesses that testified today, they are people that Adam knows. This is not, for example, a cop coming to testify about what evidence was collected, etc. These are known, these are personal, these are people that he had personal relationships with, right? And
Right.
I feel like first of all, anybody that tattoos a teardrop on their face is not good at making life decisions. Let's just start there, okay?
Right.
So means, well, I'm not going to get into that, but that's not the point. Anyway, and then sticking his tongue out and stuff like that. That's
yeah.
the kind of shit you don't want a jury to see. And I
Right.
feel like I don't think that Adam's attorneys felt confident that he could sit there in that courtroom and give zero face. And also, it's not just about the face, it's about the body. Because you guys know that whenever they play these trials or stream these trials, the minute there is some, and I think they would have done this with Crystal. I think what they would have done is panned right over to Adam. And the jury would have looked right over to Adam to see his reaction to the things that she was saying. And I think that that might be the strategy. I do not think that this is going to continue. I do think he might show up. That's what I think.
Agrees with you, and I think you're right. I think he might show up, and it might be strategy. And I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see. Amber said, I heard he was giving the jury evil eyes. So what I saw was that he was looking at every one of them, every potential juror in the eyes, and then he would look them up and down as they would come towards him. That's what the local news said during the jury selection. So he was like looking them up and down, being probably somewhat intimidating.
Correct. And I'd say, and as far as Cray Cray, who gave Adam commissary? He's huge. That's my Aunt Brenda.
He's huge.
He's huge.
He's working out. He's a man.
I feel like, let's be honest, okay? Jail food isn't healthy food. It's not like he's getting steamed veggies and, it's a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of processed food. It ain't healthy food. A lot of people gain weight. And also when they are sober, there's that sober bloat too. So who knows?
Yeah. Okay. And then we just have a couple more witnesses. Yeah, he's working out. That's what I think of. Men do that in jail. That's what they do. When my brother comes out of jail, which he's in there again right now, but every time he comes out, he's buff. Like he is huge every time. And then he comes out and then,
Reminds me of Boys in the Hood whenever Ice Cube got out. And they were like, damn, bro, you swole. And it's like, there ain't nothing to do in the pen except work out and read.
Amber mentions Murdaugh losing weight, but I want to get through these last couple of witnesses because I have to be off here within like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So
sorry.
No, you're fine. They're quick anyways. So we have Paul Montre. He used to work for New York City Police Department where he started in Brooklyn and Queens and that area, but he was just on there for a second. He served the eviction notice. There's not too much there. But then we have Demetrius Saros. He is a postal worker now, but he was a CPS worker. And so he talks about on the 29th of July, he gets a call anonymous about the black eye. He drives over to the Guilford Street home and he sees Harmony and Adam from like 20 to 40 feet away. I forget what they said, from a distance getting into the car. He doesn't actually visibly see Harmony up close that day, and I feel like he probably would have seen her with the bruise if he did. But they get into the vehicle. He didn't get to see her. On August 1st, he makes contact with Adam, and about a week later on the 7th, he sees Harmony. By that point, her eye has healed a lot. So he noticed a small red mark under one eye and redness and discoloration in the eye closest to that. Adam said he bought the kids lightsabers and Harmony was hit in the face. And he would let him go. And he didn't have contact again with Adam until January of 2020, where he says that Adam said Harmony was with her mom. He claims that he called Crystal Story and left a voicemail. And then and then what? So I have nothing for this, man. I'm sorry. I'm just completely.
I agree with Harlot O'Scara. I think people should be way more irritated and pissed off with this person than Uncle Kevin.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, bullshit, said Amber. Let's see what you guys think. Could not have bothered to read his notes before trial. Hey, girls, Nana. Absolutely. people, yeah, people are upset with him, and I am too. I'm sorry, but CPS was a huge reason that this happened. How was there 2 years? 2 years.
That's what I cannot figure out. That is why I will say this. I think we all, just because we follow true crime, right? We're aware of the system and how broken it is. Okay. But I do think the pandemic really showed me exactly how broken it was, but it also, I believe, opened the eyes to people who weren't aware of just how broken the CPS system is. And I remember in Florida when when they were figuring out how we're going to go back to school and why should we go, all the things, right? Just like all that they talked about this all over. But I do distinctly remember the biggest argument for putting the kids back in in-person school was that for some children, it is the only meal that they will get is when they're at school all day, which broke my heart. And B, that it is the only way that abused children, that there is a system in place to keep tabs on them.
Yep.
And I think that some of the stuff that we have seen, these crimes that were committed during the pandemic, and these kids, nobody had seen them. Where did they go? I don't talk to my kiddos and with the ones, I mean, I talk to all my kiddos, every day or every other day. But if especially my children who have my grandkids, there's no way. I don't understand 2 years. I can't go 2 days. I need to know exactly what those little crumb snatchers are up to all the time.
Exactly. Hey, Shmita. Adrian says CPS took my daughter's child away because they said she was homeless when they had been living with me since the baby's birth and was my daughter's childhood home. It was unreal. I have a friend or a family member who lost custody of her daughter because she was bipolar. It had nothing to do with drugs. She had bipolar with delusions and completely flipped out and went delusional. Well, at the same time, the exact same CPS office was part of a big drug deal bust out near my family's farm. And this couple was busted, okay? And they had all this heroin, all this meth. The kids were there. And because the couple snitched, they got their kids back. I don't know how the hell that works, but they did. They got their kids back, and yet people with mental health issues are losing them, having to fight for a year to get them back. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how broken our system of CPS is. And, it's a bare conversation, and it's one that I actually think we should have, obviously not today, because, but I do think that Allie, you and I should plan a live with multiple creators, especially the creators that like Leave It to Bieber, who cover children predominantly and these types of cases, because it is heartbreaking how broken our system is. Also, hi, Shmita.
I agree. Lindsay, I have one more quick video to watch and then we'll be done for tonight. And tomorrow night at 9, we're going to do updates on Jen Lou's channel. I might post like little stuff throughout the day or maybe a short video, and then we'll do all of our conversation and all that stuff over there. And Jen, I'll still take notes like this and stuff too. So if you ever need me to share the screen or anything like that.
I love you.
I love you too. Lindsay
says, oh, wait, go ahead.
No, it's on the screen, so I won't forget. So go ahead.
Okay, but this isn't related to that, so I'll save it to the end.
Okay. So on this note, when you do that, love, let's talk about West Virginia and the fact there's a class action lawsuit against DHHR and the governor. Wow, Lisa. Wow. Lindsay has a lawsuit against CPS, an open investigation with state congressman, maybe stemming from a grievance.
A budsman. I don't either.
Stemming from a grievance I filed at the local level that went nowhere. So I moved up to the state level. It's unbelievable, you guys. And I'm going to do a live with Search and Rescue K9 mom about her experience fostering and that kind of stuff soon. We've been talking about it, but I'll be honest, today I woke up at like 9 o'clock on the dot. I fell back asleep, and then I was in the trial taking notes and stuff. I'm getting behind with like messages, emails and stuff like that, but I'm going to catch up. But do you want to watch this quick video and then we'll go? Oh, Riddler.
Yes. But before we go, I want to tell you guys that Allie and I have worked out how we're going to be doing the calls and the trial that benefits everybody. We're going to cover this trial every day, alternating channels. But then on the weekends, we're going to be doing the calls. So if anybody was wondering about that, we have not forgotten. And we're still doing it. So I just wanted to let everybody know if that's, if you're ready for the next batch, we're going to be doing it this weekend.
Yes, we are. And I'm going to make sure to finish my end so that we can get into May, Jen. But so on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be doing some call stuff. I don't know. Are we going to do how long? Maybe we can try to get a lot of them in if we can or something like that.
Yes. I think we should go longer.
I do too. Maybe 3 hours instead of 2 or something like that. Just
there you go.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. You have a smart brain, Allie. You've got good ideas up in that noggin. Don't never let anybody tell you different.
Well, thank you. Hey, Jen, you have helped. There are moments in time where I've had like doubts of my own confidence, or I've been like, damn, man, I sounded stupid, or I couldn't get my words out, or I'll say things like that. And Jen will be like, no, Alex, you are very smart. And it's like, you always make me feel better. So thank you.
You're welcome. Because you are smart.
Oh,
you're very smart. You don't give yourself enough credit, babe. You're very smart.
Thank you. So are you. And then Jordan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Okay, let's.
Oh, wait, one more last thing, because Denny Dawn just made me think of this. The one day that I will stream the trial live is when Kayla Montgomery testifies, which reminds me. So I'm going to schedule that. All right. Obviously I have to put it on, it's just a placeholder. So just make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and whenever I schedule that tonight after this live, to make sure that you go to that live and turn the notification on, and that you keep checking back, because I think when I update it, like push it back or whatever, sometimes that will turn people's notifications off. YouTube is so sometimey. So there you go. Just any of that. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. And I can't wait for that. And then also Mayla's mom, thank you. And yeah, we need to talk more about that. Mayla's mom has some really excellent ideas. And so does B Crumbs. Like, they're always giving me so many amazing ideas. I wish I had more time, because
you too.
But okay, let's listen to this and then I'll let you guys go.
Okay.
The opening statement by prosecutors was very graphic, containing details of what they believe Adam Montgomery did. For its part, the defense acknowledged that Adam helped hide Harmony's body, but says Kayla Montgomery was the last to see the little girl alive. For a second straight day, Adam Montgomery didn't appear in court, making only a brief appearance yesterday by Zoom. During that appearance, he acknowledged he helped falsify physical.
So yesterday, this was him on that little camera they wheeled in. I was wondering, because people put out this footage, and I'm like, is that actually from yesterday, or are they using old footage? So it appears that it was yesterday. You get what I'm saying, Jen?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I thought too, and I was like, wait a minute, but yeah.
Yeah.
Carried out abuse of a corpse. The prosecution, in its opening statement, described Harmony as a little girl full of life, whose life changed dramatically when she went to live with Adam, Kayla, and 2 other children. Prosecutors say Harmony was killed on December 7th of 2019, but the defense says it actually happened the night before, and that Kayla is lying about what happened. At the time, the family was living in a car, and Harmony became incontinent, something the prosecution says enraged Adam to the point where he beat her to death.
And he began striking her. As he was driving, holding onto the wheel, he began punching this little girl repeatedly repeatedly for something she had no control over.
It's absolutely horrific, but how do you hear this and you know that there is a person in the front seat and they're too scared to turn around? It just doesn't make sense to me, Jen. It's really hard for my brain to hear this version and then be like, I don't know.
It's difficult for me as well. I think that I'm going to say this right now. It's going to be imperative when the state puts Kayla on the stand that they elicit the specifics of why she was scared. And that because it's very difficult for, we can understand people one human being scared of another, particularly if there's physical violence. And usually with physical violence, emotional abuse comes into play as well, the whole system.
Yeah.
But it's very, very difficult for people to understand when, even in that dynamic, how you don't try to protect your child, how you do, any child, whether the child is biologically yours or not, how you don't intervene. And they're really going to have to explain that to the jury, because particularly because Adam is pointing the finger at her, saying that she's the one that did it. It's going to be imperative. And I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, my computer's about to die. I put this video in the chat just in case it does, so you guys can watch it if you want. But it's just a recap. I just wanted to pull it up just to show more of like inside the courtroom, that kind of thing. But Music City Mom says, how do they do the methadone if they did a drug binge at that same time? Do they not drug test you? So this is the way that I understand it. And I haven't been for methadone, but I've been for Suboxone and stuff. For one, they do drug tests, but not always. You know, they might go a month, they might go a few weeks. And not only that, if you're going, so people that I know that go to the methadone clinic, if you pass your drug test and you always show up and you do your counseling, you can get take home. So you don't have to go every day. You can get a few days worth to take home, which Mary Jane Doe mentioned in the chat. That's where she's at. So she's, always passing her drug test and doing everything she's supposed to do. But if you are not, you still get methadone. You just have to show up every day. And they were going every day. So, Riddler, thank you for being here. But I think that we'll just wrap it up there, Jen, because my computer's going to die. Let me drop the link to this video again in the chat. You guys.
And also, just to know, I haven't been able to find a witness list or the order in which they're going to be calling the witnesses. However, I will be very curious to see. He was present during the weapons trial when Kayla testified. I have a sneaking suspicion that he will be present when she testifies again. That's my prediction. Who knows?
You're right. I believe you are right. Let me grab his case file so you can go here. Now, the witness list isn't on here. We see the date when it was put out, but it's not on here. And I don't know why, but
I do remember yesterday they were talking a little bit about scheduling witnesses. So I would imagine that it's some of those witnesses are kind of up in the air, probably expert witnesses. Kayla can be brought in. They know exactly where she's at. So I also think that Allie's, oh, good. You didn't. I was thinking that your phone died or your computer died, but it didn't.
Not yet. But if it does, I'll come in on my phone and end it. But I just dropped a link in the chat. You guys, that is Mayla's mom is the bomb. So are you, Adrian. But that link is his docket. So you can see every motion filed and all of those things on that. However, like I said, you can't see certain ones that we know existed. So I don't know if they're being sealed or held back or what, but most of the things you can click that link and see on there. And then otherwise, please don't forget to check out all the channels I dropped. Bendy's channel, of course, we'll be doing some recaps over there. Amber from ATS News is going to cover it, which I'm so excited because I love her brilliant, beautiful mind. And then we have Disorder in the Court and Sleuth Mom. I think Melissa's starting to get into it a little bit. So there are so many excellent channels that are covering it. Thank you, Papa Claus, for gifting a membership.
Aww.
Thank you. And then otherwise, thank you guys for being here. I know it's tough stuff for sure, but I think it's important. And I just appreciate you guys going through it with me. And Jen, I just appreciate you so much. I really
appreciate you too, babe. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to hearing everything these ladies do because they're all excellent creators. And I have to say, ATS News, she will make me think about things in a different way. So, and Allie will tell you that is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes when Jen Lou has her mind made up, that's that. But there have been many times when ATS News has said something and I was like, think about it like that, you know? So
also, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Also having them up to discuss it with us. Like, I'm really excited for that.
Yes, so because that's something we did with the Murdoch trial. And I thought it was a lot of fun to have a bunch of us different creators coming up and talking about the case and giving our perspectives. I thought it was incredible fun and I enjoyed every minute of it. And so I think this is going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
I do too. I just can't wait to pick their brains, all of those channels. And then always, I love picking yours. So thank you, Bendy, for doing this with me. And thank you for being here. And I hope you have a great night. So Amber is tomorrow at 8:35 for Adam. I wonder if we did 10. Would that be too late for you, Jen?
No, it's not for me.
I won't take my edibles and Bentley has a dance tomorrow night.
Okay. So we can do 10. We can do after Amber. Absolutely. Because she doesn't go live that much. So let's be sure that we go over there and support ATS News and we'll watch hers tomorrow at 8:30 and then we'll be over on mine at 10. How about that?
Perfect.
And purple for Harmony.
And I'll make sure to be well rested and maybe get me a Red Bull or something because the last time we were on there and someone's like, are you okay? Are you tired? I was a little tired, but I wasn't even feeling tired. But I felt so guilty for that because I'm like, you give it your all when you come on my panel. I never want to go over there and be like, all. So I'm going to do better. I promise. Ooh,
you're doing just fine. Oh,
what's live tonight? I'll be over there and check it out.
Oh boy.
And then I know Melissa
Island. I tried to leave that. I only come back for very select creators, and ATS News is one of them. Hate that island. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much, Allie, for having me. I hope her computer didn't die on us, because if it did, there's not a way. We'll have to wait for her to come back in. On another device to end the live. So let me just be quiet and see what happens. Yep, that's what happened. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'll end it now.
Absolutely, Adrienne. We need to have an open panel too. Maybe we'll do something like that. Like once a week or something like that, where we have open panels and the community comes up and discusses it, because I think this is going to be a very difficult trial.
Yeah.
And I think we need that. Mm-hmm.
I would love that. And then with Watts, the only thing I want to say before we end, I know that there were some new statements made by his mother, which have me kind of interested in that again. And I almost thought about covering some of that, but I don't think I'm going to have time. But it is very interesting. If you guys haven't seen, I think Crime Catalyst did a video putting out some of the new things that have been said and put out and stuff like that. So
yes, I will be hauling my cookies directly over there to see ATS News, because I've heard about this interview, as it were, and it has piqued my interest. So
yeah. Me too. All right. Come on camera to say goodbye to you guys. I love you. Bendy, I love you. Thank you for doing this.
I love you too.
Thank you to the mods. You guys are just the best, and I appreciate you so much. And check out the channels I dropped, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Bye, you guys. Bye.
Linda, hold on. Linda, what edibles do you take? So usually, so it depends on what state you're in, but I'll take just plain Delta 9 or Delta 8. But if you email me and you need help finding like I can help you, because I have done so much research on all the different cannabinoids and what they do for the body and what how they work together, certain ones and stuff like that. And if you go to delta8resellers.com, you can get federally legal gummies shipped to any state. So, all right, that's all. But I do believe in that, so I had to answer.
No, Allie is the one to go to for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. But yeah, check out Crown Catalyst. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jen. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.